Bitcoin is going nuts right now. At the beginning of 2024, by hitting all-time highs recently, and many believe we will see a six-figure Bitcoin by the end of 2024. There's a lot of hype going on, but nobody is talking about how to invest in this safely. And we're talking about your hard-earned money, so we need to be concerned with this. So in this video, I'll explain how I invest in Bitcoin to stay safe, and then also my plan of when to buy and when to cash out, and then what to do once we've hit the ultimate profit to then turn that into passive income for life. My name's Nolan Govea, my students call me Professor G, and I made this channel to make investing simplified. If you want to get rich fast, you're going to have to do something that other people are too scared to do, and you're going to have to take a little bit of risk. You have to understand that if you want that upside, there might come a downside, and you have to be okay with that. But this video is going to teach you how you could hedge that risk a little bit with these 5 rules that you need to do, and this is going to set you up for success in riskier investing. So let's define safe. Safe means protected from or not exposed to danger or risk. Not likely to be harmed or lost. So when we're talking about our money here, we're trying to make this as safe as possible so that our money isn't harmed or lost. With this definition, the safest thing you could probably do is just put it in a savings account that has guaranteed returns. But is that the smartest? If we know inflation is eating at our money at statistically a 2%, but lately 3, 4, 5%, then we're guaranteed to be losing money every single year. So then let's define risk. Risk defined is expose someone or something valued to danger, harm, or loss. So what types of assets are considered risky? That would be the ones that are more volatile. But it ultimately comes down to you and your discernment and your discipline. So if you're going to invest in a riskier asset for that upside, you can do yourself a favor by making it so that you could be just a bit safer so that you could set yourself up for success. No matter what you invest in, you should adhere to these 5 rules. Number 1, never invest in something you don't understand. I've said it many times on this channel, but don't just take my word for it. Definitely don't take anyone else's word for it and then just go and invest without doing the research yourself. You need to understand not only what it is that you're investing in, but why are you investing in it? Because something could be awesome. It could be an amazing asset or a great stock or an amazing business opportunity. But if it fits in the same category that you already have in your portfolio and that's already overweighted, it's just not smart and it's adding risk to your portfolio. Number 2, never invest money that you need in the next year or two. Sometimes I hear people say things like, I want to buy a house in a year or two, and so I'm going to put it in the stock market, let it grow, and then I'm going to have more money, and then I'll be able to put down a bigger down payment on the house. Well, yes, that would be awesome if that's the way it works, but the stock market works both ways. It could go up and it can go down. And if you're in something a little more volatile, like a growth fund, or in a riskier asset like Bitcoin or something else that's even more risky, it could go way up, but it could definitely go way down. And if you need that money next year and you need to count on it, I wouldn't be putting that into those places. Number 3, have an emergency fund. I like to have an emergency fund of at least 3 months of living expenses totally funded. Now this is an emergency fund away from everything else. You never use this fund. It's literally just for emergencies. And so if you're going to be investing in riskier options, with the possibility of that money dropping possibly, you just want to be safe in some place. Number 4, limit debt as much as possible. Now you should already be doing this and hopefully you have all your debt paid off, but if you don't, it's always a smart move to pay off debt first, especially high interest debt. If you have credit card debt and you're paying 18% in interest, you're rarely going to get that much percentage in the stock market or even in the crypto market. And so it's smart for you to pay down that debt first. You get a guaranteed 18% since you won't have to pay that. But even more than that, what I'm saying here is don't take on any more unnecessary debt. If you've decided that you're going to invest in something a little bit more risky, that's where your risk should be. You shouldn't then also add more risk to your life by taking on more debt and owing more. You're just going to be very stressed out. Number 5, don't trade or invest on margin. What this basically means is don't pull out a loan or don't take out a loan or use somebody else's money that you're going to have to pay back to invest with. This would be gambling, and this would be gambling with somebody else's money that you're gonna owe. When it's your own money, say you've saved up $15,000 and you decide to throw it in on something very risky and you lose it. That's unfortunate. But if you were to take out a loan, you didn't have the money to start with. Now you put that $15,000 in, you lose it. Not only did you lose it, psychologically, that's gonna be tough to live with, but then also you now have to pay that back, and you probably have to pay that back on interest, and this is just going to be very, very tough. So do not do that. I just wanted to make sure and lead with that because I do feel a level of obligation since I am a university professor, and I just want to make sure that you're safe. As far as investing in Bitcoin specifically, there are a couple of things that you definitely want to do, and I'm going to go over those, and then I'm going to explain how I'm going to invest and what I'm going to do towards the end of 2024 and near the beginning of 2025. So the first main thing that you need to do with Bitcoin specifically is you need to buy it from a reputable source. My favorite right now is either Swan, River, or Coinbase. It's no secret that crypto exchanges get hacked, but these three are some of the safer ones. Specifically Swan and River because they only hold Bitcoin. Usually when crypto exchanges get hacked, they're actually getting hacked through other coins. And so if you only go to an exchange that only holds Bitcoin like Swan or River, that one's just going to be a little bit safer in that regard. Next way to stay safer with Bitcoin specifically, but also for crypto in general, is to make sure and move your assets off of the crypto exchange as soon as possible and onto a cold storage wallet. There's a bunch of information on this on YouTube, but my favorite is the Ledger Nano X because that's what I use personally, but I know a lot of people like a lot of other ones as well. Just type in cold storage wallet for crypto on YouTube and I'm sure you're gonna find a bunch of videos that's gonna help with that. Another thing that you should be doing, and that I hope that you actually already have been doing if you're interested in Bitcoin at all, is to start reading a little bit more about Bitcoin and to understand this whole landscape. A couple of books that I really like in this space would be Bitcoin Evangelism, The Bitcoin Standard, and B is for Bitcoin. All of these do a very good job of explaining exactly what's going on, and it's everything that you need to know, not only about Bitcoin, but about just finance in general. This last thing to understand about Bitcoin and to make sure that you're doing is actually going to take into consideration your entire investing portfolio. You want to make sure and understand what you're investing in every area. Take into consideration everything: real estate, businesses, different types of portfolios, retirement, all of this. What are you invested in within each of these? And how risky are some of these things? If you're doing the 3-category approach like I teach on this channel, Bitcoin would easily fit into the growth section of that portfolio. So make sure you consider this when looking at your total portfolio fully. So here's my plan to invest specifically in Bitcoin, but also with crypto by the end of 2024 and by the middle of 2025. And then how to move that to passive income forever. Statistically, 6 to 12 months after the Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin spikes up big, and so does the rest of crypto. At that point, I'll be selling all my crypto and a portion of my Bitcoin. Then I'm going to transfer all those profits over to my 3-fund portfolio and ETF investing. This is going to help me earn compound interest and dividend income forever, and it's just going to keep growing and growing. As far as Bitcoin specifically, I'm only going to sell about 25% of my Bitcoin because out of all the crypto that I own, that's the only one that I actually believe in and that I'm going to hold forever pretty much. So I'm going to hold 75% of that, knowing that it's probably going to drop because that's what the cycles do, but long term, I really think it's just going to keep going up. Watch this video where I broke down the exact amount of Bitcoin that one should probably be holding within their portfolio, or watch this video to continue going strong on your financial journey.